Peace and welcome into the latest and the greatest episode of Men of the Certain Age, The Soup. As always, I'm Fro. I got my man Panera with me and my man UH, better known as Donnell. What's good with you fellas? There was a hell of a Saturday evening last night, man. You know what I mean? I sent out the rundown as I usually do about mid-afternoon. And so what we're going to talk about today, and then about 5:30-ish, you know what I mean? My wisdom hit me up. It's like, yo, turn it on CNN. There's some bullshit going on. I'm like, yo, let me flip the joint on, and I popped the joint on, and I'm like, oh shit, what the hell?
Take a look at what happened.
Yo, Lord, when you got the news of this bullshit with Trump, let me say this, man, before I turn it over to y'all. We are men of a certain age. And I preface that to say this, man. We've seen two presidents' assassination attempts in our lifetime, man. Reagan and now here with Trump. That's wild as hell. Lord, when you got the news, where was you at, yo?
Man, I was laying down. The wife came to me with the phone showing me what was going on. I was like, the first thought was, when you play with fire, you get burned. That was my first thought. Then my second thought took me back to my childhood when Reagan got shot. In the episode of Saturday Night Live that came on, Buckwheat has been shot. And they kept showing it over and over again. Buckwheat has been shot.
I love you. I love you. Hey, Mr. Wheat. Yeah.
Eddie Murphy was giving you all of this. Ote. Then I was like, you know what? This shit is staged, man. I'm like, this man needs support. He wants to make sure he gets in. He wants to make sure he gets a sympathy vote. This shit ain't real. As big as that motherfucker head is, you missed him? You missed the big orange pumpkin? You missed it? Come on, man. I think it was staged. But that's me. I'm one of them type dudes.
Where were you at? Give me the scene when you got the news of the assassination attempt.
I think I was sitting right here where I am right now. And Jade was like, because Jade is on Twitter, we were getting ready to go to Deuce King's pool party. So
shout out to Deuce King, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Good, nice event yesterday too, actually. So she was like, they tried to kill Trump. I'm like, nah, they ain't tried to. I was like, you know what? I looked at it, I was like, oh, that's fake, that's staged. You know what I'm saying? I saw that right from the beginning. That's what I'm thinking. You know? Because my whole thing was like, if you shoot somebody in, number one, you miss, and you hit them in the ear, right? Number one, you blowing their ear off if it's a rifle. That's number one. Number two, what happened to the bullet? Why didn't it kill somebody behind him? So that first bullet was a rubber bullet, right? Nicked him, cut him. I'm impressed at his marksmanship skills, but the rubber bullet got him, was the first shot, and then everything after that was probably live. But man, come on, man. Come on. This dude is gonna do anything short of fake his own death to avoid those charges, you know what I'm saying, and to win this office, man. Like, it's Hollywood, yo. I'm just really disgusted at the fact that people actually falling for this shit, B.
Let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at it real quick.
A little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Now, first of all, let me say this. Could you imagine that going down at a gathering where black folks is at? Let some shit ring off.
Run, beat them. I got word to God, run hard.
For real.
Yeah,
If some bullets rang out at a gathering anywhere where we at, man, we out and low. These cats is just, this is the type of shit that make you think, nah, yo, this is Trump. This has got to be Cap. You know what I mean? I've been watching wrestling since I was about what, 10, 11 years old. I done seen plenty of I done seen Ric Flair get thrown out the ring 100 times, and then when he emerged from the floor, he busted open. You know what I'm saying? This the first thing I come across is when he popped back up and he got the blood dripping. I'm like, oh, this is for show, right? Because nobody broke North, yo. Come on. What are we talking about here? Let the conspiracy theorists run rampant because, come on.
Like them Hollywood shit. Look out.
It's like somebody told him you're gonna be medulla oblongata. It's gonna be your ear. You won't feel shit. First thing he did was grab his ear and shit.
They're gonna put the blood on his ear.
Come on, man.
This is America. It's so Hollywood.
Look at it.
Come on.
That's some WWE shit right there, fam.
Wasn't Trump in WWE?
Yes.
Come on, man.
I think him and Vince McMahon had locked up one time.
Yeah, and the Vince went at it.
I'm here to challenge you to a match.
Let me get my shoes. Hold on, your head.
You hear him? He said, let me get my shoes. You know what I'm saying?
So we gotta move to the class.
Shooters down. He look disheveled. Look at Trump. He look a mess.
Watch out.
Obvious.
The shit is mad, motherfucking comical to a certain extent, man. You know what I mean? It's crazy. This guy, somebody lost their lives. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't fake, right? Or is the media really in it like that?
You would hope the media isn't that compromised. You sent some stuff earlier in the week. I'm like, come on, man. The media is just straight up purchased, man. This shit is ridiculous. Don, what you think?
I don't know, man. I just think that it's a bunch of foolery. You know what I mean? It's really meant to set something in motion. Pardon me. Whether it's Trump resurgence or whether it's anti-Biden hate, I don't know what.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me.
But what it is, what people have to keep in mind, because someone just said, "Oh, it's Biden his cohorts." If Biden his cohorts did it right, I'm just gonna say this because of the Supreme Court ruling from 2 weeks ago. Guess what? Biden's got immunity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If they found it was a deep state conspiracy and Biden put it all together, Biden is cool. Hey, listen. I want him up out of there. He's a political enemy of mine. You know what I'm saying? He's been inciting violence. He's an insurrectionist. He's a traitor. Biden can literally use all those things right now as president if he wants to get rid of Trump. So that's why I don't think it's somebody who was supported by the Democrat. More than likely, I think it's probably just Trump and bad acting. It's just ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. This guy's gonna do anything to stay out of jail, bro.
It's crazy that people think it's propaganda and fake due to the fact that it is Trump. You know what I mean? Because you cannot trust this cat as far as you can see. And like I was saying earlier, we all believe he will do anything he can to win the presidency back. They're trying to make him a martyr off of this. I saw Wright's Previous on ABC this morning and shit. First thing out of his mouth is, guess what? It was a miracle. You know what I mean?
They're trying to crucify our savior.
Yeah, come on, man. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. He played that Christian nationalist card. Like, let me get that out there real quick. You know, and I'm like, this shit is that bullshit. But no, man.
Let me interject something real quick, bro. Just your thoughts on this, your guys' thoughts. If Biden is the president now and he has immunity, could he sign some type of executive order to not allow a person with felonies to run for president?
He could.
He can put it out there. There's no question that he could do that. You know what I mean? That's a hell of a point there, Lord, that you made right there.
I was just thinking about it. They put the immunity in. while Biden is still president. So why is he not trying to take advantage of it, or, you know what I'm saying, put some things out there?
But go ahead, UH.
I think the reason for that is because America basically guarantees a two-candidate, two-party system at this point. You know what I mean? And with the fragility of our democracy, I don't think that will be the best move.
Right.
I think it's probably better for the country as a whole, if whoever wins, quote unquote, fair and square.
Right, which is shit. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I was just throwing that out there.
But that's definitely within the scope. It can be within the scope of his authority, especially like I said, like you just said, with the Supreme Court giving presidents basically autonomy.
Right.
It's something that, hey, I would have did it.
Shit, Trump faking assassinations, you might as well try some shit too.
Yeah. Faking assassinations, that's wild. But as we look and we continue to build on the media, man, check this out. That came out hot off the presses.
Gotta go with my throwback 678 today. Oh no, come on. Come on. Are you serious? I've been in jail and I got shot. Come on, son. Are you serious? Man.
You knew it was coming.
Oh.
Yo, I saw a meme of a Trump in a wheelchair like Pac.
See? And of course, the internet is undefeated no matter what.
They had him in the wheelchair coming out of Quad Studios and shit.
Oh, man. And that's it. That's what they think of us as a people, man. This cat catch a stray, and now, he is more in the hood than ever now because of the fact that he took a stray.
We're prone to violence. That's
exactly.
Yeah.
Also, man, like I said, they're trying to paint this dude Trump as a murderer, and that's what the spin is going to be, man. But let's not forget who Trump is. Check this out, y'all.
Don is speechless.
First of all, he just is fundamentally a racist. He grew up in a racist family with a racist father.
And there were 7 men who were arrested at that Klan march in New York. One of them was Fred Trump, who was the father of Donald Trump.
Trump management was charged with discriminating against African Americans. Donald Trump, then just 27, was president of the company.
I was denied an apartment in the Trump buildings based on the color of my skin.
A well-educated black has a tremendous advantage over a well-educated white in terms of the job market.
I certainly don't agree with that garbage that Donald Trump said.
Trump took out a full-page ad in 4 major New York City newspapers, calling for the state to adopt the death penalty and use it on the teens.
And it's more than anger, it's hatred. And I want society to hate him.
And the multiple times that he talked negatively about blacks, Puerto Ricans in particular.
They don't look like Indians to me.
The black guys counting my money, I hate it. The only kind of people I want counting my money are short guys that wear yarmulkes every day because laziness. You have people now down there searching, in Hawaii.
Absolutely. And they cannot believe what they're finding.
There's something on that birth certificate that he doesn't like.
Oh my God.
Maybe it says he's Muslim.
Perhaps because he's a Muslim. Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States. When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. They're rapists.
They get that son of a bitch right now out. He's fired.
Yeah, he wanted to talk about rapists.
Fired.
He's a race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot.
A man that chooses not to disavow the KKK. That is not a part of our party. That's not who we want as president. We will not allow that in our country.
Look at my African American over here. Look at him. Your schools are no good. You have no jobs. What the hell do you have to lose?
I thought we had black jobs, B.
What a stupid question. I watch you a lot. You ask a lot of stupid questions.
On the campaign trail, you called yourself a nationalist. Some people saw that as emboldening white nationalists. Now people are also saying that the president.
Such a racist
There are some people.
The same thing with April Ryan. I watch her get up You talk about somebody that's a loser. She doesn't know what the hell she's doing.
Are you going to include the Congressional Black Caucus and the Congressional
I
Fat
would.
Caucus?
I tell you what. Do you want to set up the meeting? Do you want to set up the meeting?
No.
Are they friends of
I'm
yours?
just a reporter.
No, get up. Very fine people on both sides.
Maxine Waters. Very low IQ.
Stacey Abrams. Andrew Gillum.
Why do we want these people from, quote, all these shithole countries here? Mr. Trump was referring to African nations and Haiti.
So Robert E. Lee was a great general.
He is a racist. He doesn't have to use the word N-word for it to become very clear what he is.
Wuhan. Wuhan was catching on. Kung Flu, yeah. Would you rather have the black president or the white president? I think they want the white guy. These lights are so bright in my eyes that I can't see too many people out there. I can only see the black ones. I can't see any white ones. That's far I've come. We have a racist attorney general, a horror show.
As the only African-American woman in this White House, it confirmed that he is truly a racist.
President Trump is a racist.
He is a racist.
I knew Donald Trump for 35 years. I've never seen a black employee in Donald Trump's office. Not one. I used to say going up Trump Towers is like going up the Rocky Mountains. The higher you got, the whiter you got.
The Congo, a lot of people from jail, Congo, Africa, and brought them into the United States of America.
Do you know how it feels to have the president of the United States to target you? Mr. President, will you apologize to the Central Park Five? They've been exonerated.
You have people on both sides of that. We'll leave it at that. We need to return to stop and frisk policies in cities.
Why are African Americans still dying at the hands of law enforcement in this country?
And so are white people. So are white people.
Answer the question.
They fired tear gas on the crowd, while inside the grounds of the White House, a remarkable split screen.
I am your president of law and order.
Mounted police to clear what has been an entirely peaceful protest.
I said, please don't be too nice.
So there's more, fellas. You know what I mean? This is just his racism, right? This motherfucker Trump is out.
Charges that Jeffrey Epstein is running a sex trafficking ring in the early 2000s that included underage girls as young as 14 years old.
Donald Trump in 2002 said of Epstein, he's a lot of fun to be with. It's even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side.
He routinely spoke fawningly of Jeffrey. He admired Epstein's lifestyle.
Your daughter, she's beautiful. Can I say this? A piece of it.
She's actually always been very voluptuous.
What does Tiffany have of mine?
You are the only one here of us who has a daughter. Who the fuck thinks of their daughter like that? Or would even allow another man talk sexually about his daughter in front of him? Come on, man. This dude is a piece of shit, yo.
Getting all his legs. We want to know whether or not she's got this blood yet.
You were playing tennis and you came off the quote, look at that piece of I would love some of that.
Unreal.
So it happened that Trump was referring to Karen's then 15-year-old daughter.
I had the impression that he is interested in younger women and that women would age out for him.
Miss Teen Universe? Yeah, that's like giving Jeffrey Dahmer a cooking show.
I go backstage for a show. Everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant and therefore I'm inspecting it. I stayed there with no question.
Donald Trump is heard making questionable comments about a young girl.
You going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years.
Also, the GOP nominee alleges he raped a girl when she was 13 years old.
Prince Andrew answering questions for the first time about his friendship with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
I don't know Prince Andrew, but it's a tough story.
Trump has been photographed with Prince Andrew as far back as the year 2000.
Ghislaine Maxwell is accused of helping Epstein sexually abuse underage girls.
I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, and I guess they lived in Palm Beach. But I wish her well.
You know about sexual predators and things like that.
You are one.
All right, I was going to say that, but it's true.
fucking Robin hit him right off the top. She said, "You are one." Like, and then they cackled about it as if it was comedic. You know what I mean? We cannot fall for the banana in the tailpipe with this motherfucking Trump, yo.
Look, man, I ain't falling for no banana in my tailpipe.
I'm personally not really, like I've always said, the problem is Trump. It isn't Trump. It's the people behind him. Because if you look at him and you just break him down, he's an easy person to defeat in an election. Just looking at it from a strictly political point of view. But he's definitely a piece of shit. You know what I mean? And I want to let people really realize what type of person he is, because he's not a good person, but it's his enablers that are behind him which are the problem, and that's what we need to focus on. Like we talked about Project 2025 before it got hot and it became viral and all this type of stuff, but things like what you just played need to be reintroduced, because a lot of people don't understand that's really what this guy is about. I'm just shocked that people can be hoodwinked by this guy over and over again. I just don't get it. I don't get it. It makes no sense to me. It's just incredible. That's because he's white supremacy, privilege personified, and it's just amazing to me, man. It's just really truly amazing.
Lord, when you look at the rundown and you see the racism this cat has shown throughout his history, and then you see the predatory pedophilia. Only thing that's missing in off of this kid's resume is cocaine. He got everything on his resume besides drugs and alcohol. That's the only thing that's missing. Trump, Lord.
The thing about Trump is everything that you just put in front of us, we know already, and we knew this stuff already. But there's a segment of us that feel like at least you know about it. You know what I'm saying? It's not the devil that you don't know. So what they would say will be, what about Biden? He's racist also. So it's just the racism that you don't know. So if you want to be a part of what Trump is doing and you look like us, me not saying that I'm a Trump fan, the excuse would be, what about the other candidate? It's a deflection. But after everything you just saw, especially when you mentioned my daughter, you know what I'm saying? How could you support a man who could say that he could be attracted to his own daughter? It just doesn't make any sense. Now, if you came around and said something about my daughter in front of me, I'm going to choke the fuck out you. It's just that I'm going to jail. It's just that simple. So why would you vote for somebody who you might have to choke out? That's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? He an asshole, B. And Don said, it's just he has the ability to give the 1% extreme tax cuts. So it's the people behind him. It's the people behind him that are pushing for him to get into office so they can get what they want. That's all it is, man.
And I'm glad you mentioned that. We're gonna get to that, to the money aspect of it all shortly as well. I just look at this shit as, again, man, there's too many of us out here who get caught up in the trappings. Oh, they tried to knock him off, so now the hoods allegedly love him. Is he going to get more votes because he took strays?
Educated will vote for him, yes.
Crazy shit.
He loves the undereducated.
Let me tell you something. If you knew a boy that a couple months ago, just listen to this. If you knew somebody, if I was like, bro, man, yo, you know what? I got 2 cases in New York, man. I just lost this case. I owe all this bread, yo. These boys got me back in court, man. Some, you know what I'm saying, paying off this little free chick I used to mess with. Man, they got me in Georgia. Man, I came from jail in Georgia, man. These boys is at me. And then they caught me with mad keys in my crib. You know what I'm saying? Yo, what am I going to do? Then,
Word.
And then I call you and be like, yo, I just got shot. Man, you will block the fuck out of me.
Yo, you'll be like, stop calling my phone.
Yeah, stop calling my phone.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Come on.
Me for, man?
It doesn't make any sense, B. Come on, man. This boy is...
That picture you just painted right there is so beautiful. It needs to be put on a loop and put out in onto the internets, man.
We can do that. We can do that. We can do that.
We're gonna do that because you know that was a beautiful picture you just painted right there, my guy. As we've been talking for the past couple of weeks about this Project 2025, man, let's take a look at some of the things that these cats are trying to throw out here. So yeah. So Project 2025 will require all public high school students to take the military entrance exam. Private school students would be exempt because their schools don't receive federal funding. That's one thing. Another thing that is in Project 2025.
I think that Project 2025 is wicked, man. It's 930. I think it's 930 or 970 pages of straight autocratic playbook. And like I said, one person can't do all this. One person can enable all of this, but one person can't do all of this. So it's important that we keep that in mind, because regardless of anything else in Project 2025, it's the police immunity for me. That's what it is, period. Because that's something that we as Americans have consistent, constant contact with on a daily basis. You cannot go out the house without seeing a cop. And if a cop is having a bad day and decide to take it out on you,
that's your best, or
one of yours, there's no repercussions for that. So, you know, the Department of Education obviously would be dissolved, so that means they wouldn't be able to go ahead and allocate money for public schools. They're trying to take away taxes that are going to contribute to education, so that the higher income people can have private schools and charter schools and parochial school, things of that nature. I think we discussed that last week, or we had a clip on it last week. It's pretty evident what the goal of this thing is to do. They're trying to dissolve individual freedoms and the working middle class. It's going to be poor or upper middle class to rich. It is what it is.
When you take a look at this, Lord,
first thing that comes to my mind is social economic status. So what they're saying is, if you can't afford to send your kid to private school, you're gonna have to apply to be in the military. You're gonna have to take a military exam. If you're going to public school and you don't have the money to send your kid to private school, you gotta go to the military. Pretty much, we own your ass. That's all. That's what the shit's saying. You know what I mean? That's
for real. As we continue with this episode of The Soup, man, we're going to continue on to talk about Project 2025, because as we get more information, it's only right for us to share the information. You know what I mean? It's a guy that I know we all have tremendous respect for, and his name is D.L. Hughley, and I got a clip from him when he talked about the white man. And it actually equates to what's going on right now, right here with this Project 2025. Because what this Project 2025 is, it's trying to set us back. You know what I mean? It's trying to put us damn near back into shackles. But I want to go ahead and share this with y'all real quick, and then we're going to come back and build on what DL had to say on the realisms.
I'm so tired of these white victims. I don't know, male victims. I don't know what the fuck to do. White people have never wanted to live around black people. Ever. They enshrined it in law. It's enshrined in law. So to pretend like this is a phenomenon that's associated with an action we did, or that it's Brown versus Board, separate equal, all these things. Jim Crow were all about white people separating themselves from us. And it didn't have anything to do with crime. Before it was black on black crime, what was it? So trying to pretend like it's associated with some action that we've taken or some spike in crime, it's associated with racism. You decided you were too good to live around us, and you moved and took all the resources with you. And everybody always talks about the criminality of black people, why they shoot each other. 87% of black people kill black people. Virtually the same percentage kill white people. Right. But if you want to keep children safe instead of transgenders, you need to keep them away from white men, because white men, at a higher percentage than anybody else, are the biggest molesters, pedophiles, and rapists but no one ever talks about that level of criminality. Yeah, okay. White men are the biggest rapists, pedophiles, and look it up right now. Who does it the most? But they always talk about us shooting each other. What about you? What were Catholic priests? What were they? What were the Boy Scout leaders? What were they? What were coaches? What were they? We're talking about institutionally. There's a class right now that teaches children if you ever get a white children, if you get abducted, look for a black man.
Yeah.
So if you're protecting our kids, protect them from the motherfuckers that are holier than thou. The people that are the most religious, the people that wear the robes and the uniforms. They're the ones raping kids. And virtually every crime in the United States, 2 to 1 was committed.
But there's a higher percentage of whites than blacks in America.
But no one ever adds percentages when we're talking about welfare. If you look at the there was a kid at Stanford. He raped a girl. A judge didn't want to ruin his life. People always talk about how black people are sent to prison for murder for the rest of the month. They're also 50% of the people who are exonerated. If you look at a system that if I do it, it's criminality. If you do it, it's frivolity. Donald Trump admitted to grabbing someone's pussy, which is sexual assault. And you called it locker room talk. Cuba Gooding Jr. had to go to trial for it. So now you get to decide what crime is. But there is no disputing the fact, per capita, white men do the highest percentage of rape, pedophilia, and sexual assault in this country.
And guess what? This is the motherfucker you trying to put in the presidency again. Doing all of that shit, all of that realness that DL just spit is the shit that Trump stand on. Is what this Project 2025 shit is on. Motherfuckers want to run around and dance and scream, oh, Teflon Don and all that dumb shit. You better pay attention, motherfucker, because you're going to be jammed up if you get back up in there.
Jam the fuck up. And you know what's crazy? That's probably why he has a support of a lot of, and that's why I don't understand it. Maybe that's why he has a support of a lot of white men out there, because of those things that DL just pointed out. Child molesters, pedophiles, molesters is part of their culture. You know what I'm saying? And it's not part of our culture, and obviously the way that we think. So maybe it's something that, and I'm not accusing all white people. I'm not going to say that would be unfair, but maybe that's something, a part of their experience that we can't relate to, that gives them an extra sense of relativity to them. You know what I mean? It might be that. That might be it. He might be like, yo, you know what? He a wild boy. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't mind doing this, that, and the other. And hell, he's a hell of a guy. And I used to fuck my cousin and all. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what the boys is on. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's something that there are finite differences in culture that we'll never be able to understand, regardless of what the culture is, man. And I think that might be the reason, dog. Honestly.
Lord, DL's getting up there in front of VLAD and smacking him with facts on the plight, and they still don't want to realize and understand.
DL is always going to keep it real. DL he's just like one of us. He's a man of a certain age, so he's just going to give you the realness, and he's going to give it to you with statistics. There was one statistic that I saw that even though they say black men are part of their children's lives, most black men out of all races are more a part of their children's lives than anyone. Now, we may not all be married, but we all take part in our children's lives. The thing is, you won't see that anywhere. They're not going to put that out there. And to piggyback on what Don was saying, the fact that, you know, like not all white people, but maybe it is a part of their culture. And the fact that Trump won't denounce that he knows David Duke, or the fact that Trump won't say that denounce the Ku Klux Klan, is another reason why he has a huge backing, because they don't want to be around us. And he's a symbol of keep them away from us. You know what I'm saying? That's a really interesting take, Donna. I appreciate that.
As we continue on this sizzling episode of Men of a Certain Age, The Soup, man, we need y'all to please share and subscribe. And we want them to hit that bell, Don. Why we want them to hit that bell?
Man, because that'll let you know when the soup is coming fresh off the stove. You know what I mean? You can go ahead and get it right away. 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday. But definitely turn the notification on, yo. You got the notification popping.
We need that, man. Please share and subscribe. And please comment down low. You know what I mean? As we continue on, man, this whole thing with Trump taking us stray took a lot of heat off, or took a lot of eyeballs off of what the Dems have been throwing into getting Joe Biden off the campaign and getting him off trying to run again for president as being the nominee for president, right? And during this thing, I'm thinking to myself, why all of a sudden are the elites quote unquote elites coming out and pushing for to step out. You got George Clooney. I got some information on old Clooney as well. But before we get into that, Lord, earlier during the pod, you mentioned monies, right? It always comes down to the money. So let's get to the money real quick. Let me share this with y'all real quick about Joe Biden, all right? And then we're going to come back and build on this.
If Biden wins, you're going to have a stock market collapse, the likes of which you've never had.
The Dow 30 broke 40,000 for the first time in history. Look at that market.
On a year-to-date basis, we know that the markets have been relatively strong.
We see earnings increasing for the second quarter. We see record earnings estimates for the third and fourth quarter, and that's what really impresses me.
I've been doing this a long time. I never expected the Dow to hit 40,000.
So I'm in lots and lots of international discussions as part of my job. And the story for the last 2 years has been just how exceptional the performance of the U.S. economy has been. And that's not a secret. You know, clearly the U.S. economy has performed very well compared to our advanced economy colleagues.
Is there any country in the world with a central bank, any advanced economy that's performing better?
Better as a central bank?
Any economy that is an advanced economy that has a central bank that performs better than us.
None comes to mind. As I think of the majors, the answer would be no.
Okay.
Now check this out. It says inflation falls in June for the first time since 2020. So it's like motherfucking Biden is getting motherfuckers bread. You know what I mean? Take a look at your 401k, your 401. If you got your shit in order, it is looking good because the economy is doing well. Prices is up, but inflation is coming down. They're not talking about that, are they?
Not at all. You want to get the naysayers talking about the price of eggs and granted, I do spend more at the grocery store. I can't front. Gas, whatever. You got to get used to gas hovering somewhere between $3 and $4. It is what it is. But
it costs to be the boss. If you pumping premium and you will, you're gonna pay premium prices. So let's not bullshit around the bush.
Exactly. And nobody told you to get a goddamn F-150 extendo cab. You know what I'm saying? Where that take 24 gallons every time you fill it up.
The Confederate flag on the back of the joint?
Yeah, man, gun rack and all. Maybe a dead deer in the back, you know what I'm saying? and a trailer behind it, because that's how them boys go. It's funny to me that things aren't right around my neck of the woods. I think I've seen more houses go up for sale and be bought in my neighborhood over the past couple of years. The price of my house has doubled since Biden's been in office.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Literally, it's doubled. I got a great job. I get paid very well for doing what I do. So I really don't see it. And a lot of times I like to attribute that to my personal will and drive and experience and things like that. But obviously being in an environment that is allowing me to strive because of the decisions that I made and the experience that I have is a testament to the type of government that he is in charge of right now. Thumbs up for me, man. My life is definitely better than it was 4 years ago.
Lord, why is the media, and we're going to call and stay on the media, because like I said, before this whole Trump taking strays jumped off, we have people coming out of the woodworks. You got George Clooney writing op-eds about Biden stepping out of the ring, Rob Reiner talking about Joe Biden, fucking David Axelrod, Barack's former chief of staff, talking out the side of his neck. But when you look at the numbers and the money men get up there, Lord, and start saying, we were forecasting doom and gloom, and this kid is moving and shaking.
Right.
What they talking about, Lord?
The facts are the facts. You know what I'm saying? The financial facts are the facts. Now, and even historically, when there's a Republican president in office, the deficit usually goes up. It goes high. And then the Democrat comes in and cleans up the mess. Even after COVID, you could see what Biden did with cleaning up the mess and creating more jobs and helping the people, the middle class, like people, the working people. Now, people like Clooney are in the upper class. Of course, they're going to say, you know what? We got to get Biden out of here, because if Trump comes in, then we'll get the tax cuts that we deserve. When Trump was in office, man, I think he the deficit's skyrocketed. I think he spent the most money of any president pretty much ever. But that's what he wants to do. He want to get in there and just boss up and give money and give tax breaks to the people who are in that 1%. He don't give a fuck about nobody under that. You know what I'm saying? And it's evident.
Remember?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say a few weeks ago. Remember, he told the oil lobbyists, not the oil lobbyists, the oil executives that listen, y'all give me $1 billion, y'all basically get everything you want.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? This dude is.
He a gangster, B. He's a gangster, man.
Yeah, he should have letting you know what it is. And like a lot of people, like I said, people just think about that 1 or 2 stimulus checks or PPP or ED, whatever type of loan, you know what I'm saying, or benefit they got. They don't think about the conditions that, now I was making money just because of what I would do, but they really don't think about the condition that the country was in,
right.
You know what I mean, at that point, man, as a whole. And we actually need to start thinking more communal than the capitalist, man. That's really the one thing that needs to be stressed. We need to think more together, bro.
One more time, say that again.
We need to think more communal than capitalist, man, because it works for us. You know what I mean? It works for us. It doesn't. Being hyper competitive and hyper capitalistic is exploitative, and it's not a system that we're ever really truly going to benefit from, because you know what? We didn't create it. You know what I mean? So we're playing somebody else's rules, playing somebody else's game, and they're constantly changing the rules and putting things in place that we have no knowledge of. We were watching a few weeks ago, speaking of the Fed, we were watching a special a few weeks ago about the rise of easy money, and how we're talking about how inflation came about and how people were making so much money, and it was just easy to go ahead and make money. And now things have changed with after COVID, and now they're inflating the money so that and charging higher interest rates so that they can make that money back that they basically gave away. Right. So it's a system that doesn't benefit us unless we understand every complexity of it. When it's a lot easier to be a community, share and grow, and we can see our growth as opposed to putting our faith completely into someone else's system.
Don, you've been a big champion of stopping the celebrity worship, following just because this celeb says this, I'm gonna follow that, or I'm gonna follow this. I'm gonna follow this celeb because they're championing this. This past week, we had Mr. George Clooney, one of the elites, come out and write an op-ed and say that Biden needs to stop and get out of the race. Right. So there's always a reason. It's always cause and effect. There's always a cause, and then the effect is him, why he wrote this. So the cause is right here.
Oh, sure.
So it says George Clooney phones the White House after Biden rebukes wife's work on Israel warrants, right?
Oh,
okay. I don't know if are y'all familiar with who his wife is? Her name is Kamal, right? And she's a civil rights lawyer. And she represents all types of folk all around the world. Her nationality is Lebanese.
Okay. So you represent Palestinians, fam, you think?
Yeah.
And Yahoo.
Like I said, she's a civil rights attorney. She's been around all around the world doing these, representing folks. So some of the people that she represented Julian Assange. We all know who Assange is. He's the WikiLeaks cat. So he calls Joe Biden, or calls the White House, says, yo, my peoples is trying to get these warrants to get through, but y'all ain't really helping. Motherfuckers hitting what?
Fuck out of here.
They hit him with that. And then a couple of days later, he come with the op-ed, man. So now what, UH? What you got for me?
I think that my eyes don't lie, regardless of Clooney and Netanyahu and their beef, and I ain't got nothing to do with that. I'm going upon what I saw. And I don't, like I said, I don't think he can make it 4 years, much less 4 months. You know what I'm saying? I don't think the kid got it in him. And I think that when you see people like Clooney who helped him raise $25 million, obviously for a reason, he wanted to get his beak wet.
Now, all I'm asking is that you let me wet my beak a little bit.
Again, I just got you $25 million one night. I'm gonna need you to go ahead and sign up on this Netanyahu warrant, you know what I'm saying, or get behind it. And that $25 million is not enough to counter the influence that Zionists have in the administration when it comes to Israel. So, you know, and plus Clooney isn't Jewish or Zionist or Israeli. And his wife, obviously being Palestinian, is a direct adversary to the state of Israel as well. I think he just made the choice that, hey, listen, I'm not messing with these boys, like you say, fuck out of here. And your boy, he circled right back and was like, listen, you old bag, you need to get up out of here because you're not making the right decisions. Optically, it doesn't change the way that I feel about Joe Biden. I don't care if he says I'm in it. Pops, go sit your ass down. Let Kamala go ahead and get in. Like I said, the solution is to let him accept the nomination. You know what I'm saying? Give Kamala, turn it over to Kamala at the convention, so everybody's in agreement, and they move forward, man. But in the interim, they need to start propping her up as opposed to having her be just a fullback blocking for him. You know what I mean? They need to make her a running back. You know what I'm saying, or a scat back or something, man, or option quarterback.
Let me just say this: Kamala is the Ugandan giant.
6'9" tall. Kamala, 385 pounds.
Kamala. All right, Kamala. Let's get it right. Kamala. So what about George Clooney there, P? They have they have their personal reasons for writing shit to try to affect, again, cause and effect.
See, this is new to me. I had no idea he wrote that op-ed. And obviously, because that's his wife, it's personal. So you're like, yo, man, I just hit you with some bread. You know what I'm saying? What you gonna do for me? It's just that simple. But again, he doesn't want him in office anymore because of his inability to debate properly. But historically, what's gonna happen if he steps down? I think what that's gonna do is just gonna put us in a situation where the percentages on Trump getting in are much higher. You know what I'm saying? Because it shows disunity within the Democratic Party. So if he passes the votes on the Kamala, I think the chances of her becoming president are going to be slim, not only because of the change, but because there's a lot of chauvinistic people out there also.
And racist.
Yeah, racist and chauvinistic, because she got it on both ends, that don't feel like she should be running the country.
Both ways, as they say, both ways.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We're in a fucked up position here in this country, bruh.
In my opinion, it's reckless. I've heard the motherfucking George Clooney say that he lives in a mansion on the lake in Italy. So, you know, what do you really give a fuck about what's going on in the United States for real, with the everyday people? Real to George Clooney.
Fuck out of here.
Word.
And meathead Rob Kleiner.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah, what happened to Rob Kleiner, man?
Rob Reiner?
Normally made sense.
Rob Reiner, exactly.
Rob Reiner. I mean, he normally made sense. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying, man. That's why I'm baffled. I'm like, yo, y'all motherfuckers is making money. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you are missing out on things with Biden being president. If anything, things are looking up. Now the motherfucker just said about medical debt. You know what I mean? If he get back in there, he gonna get the medical debt out of for boys. You know what I mean? So it's But at the end of the day, he pushed through some of the things that he said he was going to do. He gave us the Black Supreme Justice, right? Ketanji Jackson, right? He gave us that. He scrubbed the college debt as much as he could until the motherfucker GOP niggas was like, no, we can't do that.
Right.
We can't let them have that. That might get them forward. I might have to have a black person live next door to me if his credit is better. You know what I mean? For real, man. You know, again, as we continue to cook this pot of soup on this episode, man, quietly, AOC came to the forefront. Did y'all pick up on what AOC was putting down?
Yeah, she's trying to impeach some of the Supreme Court justices, man. Like,
let's see what she was putting down real quick.
Personal hospitalities, man.
Reasonable Americans will and do believe that Justices Thomas and Alito are prone and subject to corruption, that the institution failing to punish them is broken, and that consequently their impeachment is a constitutional imperative and our congressional duty. The abuses of power committed by Justice Thomas and Justice Alito are precisely the types of corruption that the framers understood was an existential threat to our democracy. Instances like these and misconduct like that of Alito's and Thomas's are precisely why the framers gave us the tool of impeachment. Corruption without consequence infects all it touches. And that is why this body, Congress, has a constitutional and moral obligation to hold these justices accountable, to maintain the integrity of our courts, and to uphold the standards of the judiciary and our institutions. Lastly, we cannot ignore the most important material consequences of this court's unchecked corruption and its resulting influence: the suffering of the American people. We cannot ignore and pretend that this corruption is wholly unrelated to the pregnant Americans now suffering and bleeding out in emergency rooms under the court's unleashing of extreme abortion bans across the United States, which was a key political priority of these undisclosed benefactors and shadow organizations surrounding Alito and Thomas's misconduct. Nor can we ignore the millions of Americans now suffering hours-long wait times in the hot sun, often without water, just to cast a ballot, also a direct result of this corrupt court's gutting of the Voting Rights Act, allowing the closing of polling sites across the country. Neither these justices nor their shadowy benefactors have to answer to the parents of developmentally delayed children about their decision to gut the power of the EPA and the entire administrative state with it. But they do have to answer to us, the Congress, whom these people, the American people, have elected and entrusted to protect them, to serve them, and to defend the well-being of our democracy. Mr. Speaker, I am here today presenting these articles of impeachment not because I am a Democrat and not because I am blind to its odds in a Republican-led chamber. I present them because it is the right thing to do. And while our framers perhaps may not have envisioned someone like me in this seat, they absolutely did envision the necessity and value of the impeachment action upon which I seek to advance today. Thank you, and I yield back.
Serious business, boy. She's serious business. I love her.
AOC, UH.
Love her. I like this. I like her. I actually got a chance to watch her. I don't know if Netflix, Hulu, or Amazon, but I caught a documentary on her about how she was actually literally a waitress who got sick of it. You know what I mean? And jumped into action. So obviously, she understands the power of the vote. She understands the grind. Her shoes are actually part of a historical exhibit in the Smithsonian that she used to walk from door to door to door to door. It's not shoes with holes in them. But I really do enjoy watching her legislate because she's serious about what she does. She's always been a great representation for her district, and she understands civics. If she understands that the Congress is the only branch of the government that can actually remove a judge, it's smart of her to do that. I think that she is one of the more intelligent lawmakers that we do have, and I'm glad to see her still putting in work. And it's because the Supreme Court is clearly out of control at this point. And like we discussed a few shows ago, I suggest term limits of 25 years just to avoid situations like that. They may not be able to impeach them, but there definitely should be some adjustment and an amendment to the Constitution, which puts term limits on judges and also puts age limits on presidents as well.
Since we've heard the term personal benefits. Have
Personal
you
hospitalities.
encountered personal hospitalities? I'm fucking it up. Thank you for having my back, as always, Lord. What's it called?
Personal hospitalities, PH.
Personal hospitalities. So AOC, yo, enough is enough. You know what I mean? What you think about this?
Shout out to AOC, first of all, for defending, what was that, Jasmine Crockett over, what was her, MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene, that's where all that beach blonde butch body came from. But AOC was defending her from the beginning. And shout out to AOC for that. But yeah, these personal hospitalities, man, and with the Supreme Court, and it just, when they get money from this one guy, what's his name, Harlan Crow is where he was getting the money from. It sways everything. If you're in the Supreme Court, you're supposed to be just. It's supposed to be balanced. But if you're taking money from people, you're swaying one way to the other. And it's good that AOC is actually speaking out on it. Now, my thing is, it a situation where she's speaking out and the odds are against her for anything happening, because the majority of the House is Republicans. Are they going to do anything about the actual Republicans that are in the Supreme Court? But the fact that she put herself out there to say something so people can hear what's going on. And like Don said, man, this is a lifetime position. Something should be changed about that, because if you're there and you have a lifetime, you're there for forever until you die or whatever, you're going to do all kinds of shit if you're an unjust person. And that's what's going on with these two Supreme Court justices, man. They're taking full advantage of their seats.
Now, Don, you painted a beautiful picture earlier, right? I'm going to try to paint mine in regards to Clarence CT and his wife, Jen Thomas, right? So if your wife is hustling, she's moving them things and gets caught up in a conspiracy of selling dope, I don't think you are blind to the fact that she is selling dope, right?
Absolutely not.
If that's your wife, I would think that you would know she's moving those bricks. So I equate that to CT, Clarence Thomas, knowing his wife is up with this insurrectionist, Jan Quick, that she's in the middle of that. She's peddling like a motherfucker within that. How can he not know what she is doing? That's the same thing. If your wife get caught up with the cartel, you're gonna act like, oh, I don't know, that's her. I don't know anything about it. To a lesser extent, Alito, he got the upside down flag and whatnot. That ain't me. That's my wife.
Howard shit too, though. You should recuse yourself.
It's too much. It's not a coincidence what's going on.
No.
These guys with their personal hospitalities, jetting on the PJ to the south of France. There's no way in the world that you don't somehow, some way, you are not doing what this billionaire may be asking you to do. There's no way that you are not considering, let alone doing it, but considering. We already know you're going to consider it. You know what I mean? Because that's your man. You're right. Taking a PJ with him. You know what they showed him in a big RV joint.
Oh, the RV joint. Okay.
Stupid
going cross country kicking it.
Come on, man. And she
Quid pro pro is real. They're not doing it for no reason, man. You know what I'm saying? They're giving them the money and they're doing these things for a reason, man. And it's going to affect us in the long run.
I remember a lot of things from when Mitt Romney was running against Barack. And I forget what they were saying or what the question was, but Mitt Romney answered that those type of decisions are held in quiet rooms. When he said that, I was like, damn, business and shit go on, man. Consequences and repercussions. These guys just gave the president carte blanche. Right. If it's official business, then there's nothing you could do. he can come knock me off, but as long as he was in the Oval Office and says that it's official business, it was official presidential business, it's all good.
How do you determine what's official business or not?
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
And that's where the courts is going to come into play. And you think about what Trump is up against now, they're going to try to paint it as it was official business. But it can't be official business if you wasn't president, right? Can't pull that card if you wasn't president. So it's real foxy out here, man. What's going on? But you got to pay attention, and I'm going to go back to it again. You can't fall for the banana in the tailpipe.
Look, man, I ain't falling for no banana in my tail.
And I'm glad people like AOC is there. Jasmine Crockett is out there. These young up-and-coming women. My man, Hakeem Jeffries, I know how you feel about Hakeem, Don, but you can't be mad at him because he ain't blue 5. You know what I mean? So you got to put that aside for a quick minute.
Everybody make bad decisions. It's all good. No worries.
But let me ask y'all, is it again, one more again, as they say, gonna come down to us as Black folks to get Biden reelected? Because you saw on Monday, the first people to come out in support of Biden was the National Black Caucus. So is it gonna come down to us again to ride for him, man? Because it was, as they say, it was Black women who pulled through for him last time. Is it gonna be up to us, P?
This is tough, man. This is tough. I think what's happening is right now is Blacks for Biden it's softening now. You know what I'm saying? Not for me in particular, but when MAGA goes completely crazy and start doing the shit that they do, it seems like the Democrats are quiet. They don't fight enough. You know what I'm saying? You know how you normally say Republicans stick together. It's like the Democrats don't fight enough for us when the MAGA goes nuts. And then sometimes we like, shit, they going crazy. You not fighting for us. Fuck it. I'm gonna listen to Cardi B. She ain't voting for Trump. She vote. You know what I'm saying? That's for someone who doesn't have the mindset we have. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we're gonna vote our interest. And like earlier in the show, you showed the financial interest in us staying with Biden. You know what I mean? Even though I called the weekend at Bernie's last week, and he also had earlier in the week he had a press conference or something where he still didn't seem coherent. But
he's not.
Yeah, but what he represents and what's better for us is to vote Democratic. But I can understand when some people get a little shit. The Dems don't fight enough. You got Marjorie Taylor Greene and Trump. They say all kind of crazy shit, and they get backings from the Republicans. It seems like they stick together more. Man, I'm like, they like, yo, what the fuck, man? I'm just either not gonna vote, which is horrible, or they're gonna end up voting for Trump. So the Democrats got to start fighting more and start sticking together. Maybe take a page out of the book from the Republicans and not say Biden needs to step down, or maybe we should stand by him even more. You know what I mean? My thoughts on it.
But if you look at the congressmen and women who have all come out who say that they want Biden to step down, have all been Europeans. Again, I'm going to put it to you. Is it going to be up to us to see him through?
Yeah, it is. It's always up to us every time. You know what I mean? At least in these last, 2-3 elections, it's been up to us. Yeah, we again, they throw the ball in our court and want us to put them over the top, but continue to enable a system that keeps us as second-class citizens. So I say that to say that I would much rather vote for Biden than live under the tyranny of a Trump administration. I think there's a lot of confusion. I've seen people ask me, like, are you really gonna vote for Trump? I'm like, no, I would never vote for Trump. So on that front, I'm definitely with Biden. I saw Jim Clyburn come out last week and go with his expression, I'm riding with Biden. And they kept on saying, what do you think about this? I'm riding with Biden. I'm riding with Biden. It made me feel very uneasy. and obviously Jim is one of the elder statesmen of the Black Caucus that that run around up in DC. It made me feel uncomfortable because of the fact that I feel like we're being held hostage, and that's how I've felt with these elections. Because if we choose to vote for the 45, we're voting against our interests, right? So it's like we're forced to vote for 46, even though he hasn't shown anything unique for us as a whole. The Supreme Court justice, that was a matter of time. That was going to happen at some point or another. I'm glad he did it.
It was going to happen. Was Trump
absolutely? Yeah.
Was the next Republican president? You think the next Republican?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But then again, they did put Clarence Thomas in place. If we're just talking about just somebody black there.
Well, they were saying black.
Somebody who's
saying,
you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean. So, as a black face there.
Yeah.
You know, a face that supposedly represent black people. But I really haven't seen anything that makes me want to be enthusiastic about voting for him. But as a black person, I know that my fate is better taking my chances with Biden than I would ever with Trump. So
as an educated black man.
Yeah. It's not hard. It's not a $1,200 stimulus check is going to sway my opinion. It's not freaking PPP loans or whatever the hell, or him getting shot or him going to jail. That doesn't.
So Cardi B saying that she voted for Trump ain't going to sway you?
Absolutely not. Because
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, it shouldn't sway anybody. Cardi B should keep her voting choices to herself. If she's not looking for to help her fans truly out in their everyday struggles, why would she promote somebody who's locks up kids, somebody who's gonna basically start concentration camps again? I want to send you over this video that the Project 25 put together, talking about how Trump presidency could possibly go based upon, the Lincoln Project, not Project 2025. The Lincoln Project is a video. They talk about how a Trump presidency will go based upon the indicating factors that surround us. We really have to be aware that some people are just concerned about themselves, and we cannot afford to just be capitalist. We have to be communal. We have to.
If any celeb or any rapper, young rapper, says that they're supporting Trump, I'm gonna ask them, give me your top five reasons why you're supporting Trump. And if you can't articulate those 5 reasons,
fuck out of here.
And even if you can articulate 5 reasons,
fuck out
at the end of the day, the stakes are too high. We painted a picture of who Trump is because in this next week with the Republican convention, they're gonna try to paint a picture of this guy being the Messiah. The bullets don't affect him. He's fighting for you. They're gonna give you all type of Trump bullshit. And at the end of the day, it's all that. It's bullshit because we showed you who he is. He's a rapist and he's a rapist. He's a rapist and a racist. All you have to do is substitute a couple letters, 2 letters, and it's interchangeable. And it's how he's moving and shaking, man. Before we get out of here, man, this week has been hectic. We knew it was going to be a hot summer, and it's going to be 100 degrees down here tomorrow, Lord.
Whoa, Lord.
It's going to be 100 degrees down here tomorrow, man. We knew it was going to be a long, hot summer going into the election season, and we definitely are going to stay on top of it and give you our 2 cents, our dash of salt, and our dash of pepper in the soup to continue on. Also, this week, we always got to go back to the Lakers, man. We're gonna have to lighten it up a little bit before we wrap up, man. Man, Bronny James, what the hell is going on with the Lakers, man, and LeBron James? Because my take is it's really unfair to this kid, man. Why was it so important for him to try to get to the league? I don't understand for the life of me the rushing of him to get to the NBA, whereas clearly he is not ready, and the spotlight is going to be continuously on him because of it. It's ridiculous. Why did they force this kid to go to the NBA, man? LeBron James, this is not helping your legacy.
That's what he thinks.
Why, P? Why did they put this kid out here on Front Street like that?
Why you come at me? The Laker fans sitting over there with the new fresh haircut. You coming at me? What's up, Lakers? Let me find out you went to Rockies to get your shit tapered up too, man.
Nah, I went to go to. I went to OD. I went to OD. A light OD.
You came to the town real quick.
Dipped out. Shout out to my brother Frank. Shout out to my brother Frank, man. My man.
Right, man. I should have came to the Laker head, but I wanted him to simmer a little bit.
Let him simmer, okay?
Like the soup a little. Let it simmer. It get better when you let it simmer. It gives it more flavors and whatnot when you let it simmer over to the side for a couple minutes. You know what I'm saying? It's just looking and watching, and I see him, and he out there. He mad timid. He mad timid, and kids is trying to take his head off.
Of course.
I saw an interview with LeBron, and LeBron was saying how people don't realize that Bronny nothing bothers him. He don't give a fuck, pretty much.
Oh, God.
LeBron was like, when I came to the league, I wanted people to like me, blase, splee, this, that, and the third. But Bronny's not like me. He don't care. Now, to me, that's a bunch of bullshit because the kid is a human being. Of course he cares. You know what I mean? And because of LeBron's selfishness of wanting to play with his son, he's put his son in some hot, very hot water. You know what I mean? And everyone's coming at him. It's going to be hard for him to deal with. He's still a kid, man. You know what I'm saying? He probably should have. He wasn't going to stay in school. His father was going to make sure he was in the league. So I don't know what's going to happen with the kid, man. Mentally, it has to be tough, more than physically and mentally for him. But Bron's going to push it because it's what Bron wants more than what Bronny wants.
I'm going to come to you. Let me just say, me as a parent, right? Just as the parent aspect, obviously you want the best for your child, right? No matter what. If you can give him the world, you give it to him, correct? But at the end of the day, you don't want them to learn and earn their own at some point, have to go through a little something difficult just to go through it, a learning experience. Now he's going to go through his life. Obviously he will, because his father is a billionaire. He will go through life with the affluence of being first in line and the door is always open. But to regular people like you and me and Don, that's not life.
When you learn how to drive, where did you start off? On the 33 or in the parking lot?
In the parking lot.
And if your parents cared about you, they're not going to throw you on the 33 the first time you learn how to drive. So it's more about LeBron and his legacy than it is about Bronny. Throwing that kid out there like that, man, it's tough on Bronny.
You now coming to you as just the purest Laker fan, and you see what's going on in Lakerland with the hiring of Jay Redick, with the draft pick of Connect, with the draft pick of LeBron James Jr. What if this was my team, man? I'd be pissed, to tell you the truth, yo.
Yeah, I think that, like I said, I don't understand the Bronny pick. I really don't get it because he's just not ready, man. I don't care who his dad is, what his dad wants, and what type of top 3 player he may be in some people. So some people he's the best player of all time. You know what I'm saying? It can't be argued he's in the top 3. From my point of view, he is. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't give his son any right it doesn't give him any right to have, or any privilege, I should say, to be in the league. I just don't see that. And I think that every time he goes out there, because his skill level is still minuscule, he's really not fully developed into an NBA player. Boys is gonna give him the business.
As they should.
They should, right? Because like we said a few pods ago, that spot probably should have went to somebody who was more deserving of it as far as their performance in college was concerned. I'm sure we could name some other people. So the nepotism is going to be hard to overcome. And like you guys said, I think it's more so something that LeBron wanted to see done than Bronny, I wanted, because I still have yet to see Bronny on the shop. I still have yet to see Bronny sit down with anybody, period. I still have yet to see Bronny do an interview. You know what I mean? So I really want to see him for what he is, because during this whole time, by him being quiet is not doing a lot of good for Laker fans. I don't feel good about it. Now, the white dude, the Dalton dude, I'm with it. He's a baller. You know what I'm saying? He's a baller, him and Austin Reed. Then you got, of course, you would expect somebody like that from Duke JJ Redick. You would expect him to pick a boy like that. So I can.
Yo, that's your man. That's your man. JJ Redick.
Yeah, so I can.
I just thought about that. You got a Duke head. Your head coach is actually a Dookie, yo. Oh shit.
What's scary though, fellas? What's scary is if you see Bryce play.
Bryce is better.
Yeah, he's the one. He's
Bronny's the one.
Yeah.
Not
He
right now.
man.
He's not right now. I'm not gonna shit on him and say he's not. Like I said, he's not. It's not that he's not good, because obviously he can cook me. You know what I'm saying? But he's not, to me.
Wait, let's stop that. Let's squelch that. Just because somebody cook you don't mean that they good either. Cut it out.
Oh, so slide that in there, right? It's all good, no, man. But man, I don't think like I said, I think he's somebody who should have probably did another year or two in college, and he would have been better served as a draft pick. But it's something that obviously his father wanted to do, man. And yeah, I guess we gotta wait another year.
It's really interesting because we as people, we'd like to see the brothers with the power. Because the Europeans have had it and run with it for so long. And then when you had something to say about it, oh, you hating, oh, you a hater. It's no, man. When the Europeans do it, don't make it right neither.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's that part of it as well. I just think it's LeBron, man. It's him and him wanting that feeling, that paragraph on his Wikipedia.
Right.
First NBA player to play with his son. Yo, that does not close the gap, doggy. It just doesn't. You might think, and the LBJ stands, of course, they think that makes it puts him even on a higher level. But nah, man, at the end of the day,
Fuck out of here.
So yeah, as we're getting ready to cut the soup down and take it off, man, for the evening, man, we usually go ahead and we pass it off to UH, man, because he always has something really insightful to say. So I'm going to go ahead, man, and open it up to you, man. Go ahead and lay it on us, Lord.
Yeah, real quick. And earlier I mentioned police immunity is really the big thing with me with Project 2025, more than anything else. Obviously, it's wicked from beginning to end, but police immunity really stands out to me because we constantly have contact with police officers. So one thing about our house over here is we absorb a lot of information. I thought about the other day, the fact that I remember going with this girl to a gun show, and she was buying guns, right? And the type of gun, I think she went like a Glock 19 or something like that. He had sold out. She was like, he's okay, come to my house and we can go pick it up. So I drove with her. It was way up in Cumming, right? Cumming, Georgia, past the mall where they ran the black people across the river. We'll talk about that one day when they run them across the Chattahoochee. We were way up there. Straight racist white people. Like Forsyth County is crazy if you look at the history. But anyway, so we duck off into this road, man, and we go back there and we get the guns, man. And the guy is like a cop. He's like a sheriff, right? And he's got mad guns, any kind of gun that you could think of, guns that you didn't know, kind of. I mean, but he was just selling them, like, yo, blah, 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 blah. Right? So I thought about it. I'm like, damn, you got cops selling people guns.
Oh, wow.
That's deep, right? And these are the same cops that will shoot your ass and then call an ambulance for you. Think about that. That is the most wicked, potentially wicked position in our country. You know what I mean? Because you have daily interaction. You're not a soldier. You're not on the base. You're not following a direct chain of command. You're just running wild in the community. So if there's nothing to stop them from asserting their will, their ego, their perceived power and dominance over communities, what do we have to look forward to as Americans?
Wow. That's a vicious cycle right there.
Yeah, man. Shady acres. Not surprising, though. So, Lord, before we cut the soup off, man, and go ahead and get into this God degree, man, go ahead and give the people what they want, man.
Yeah, man. For men of a certain age, short and sweet. Sometimes if you see someone crying, but it doesn't mean that they're weak. A lot of times it means they've just been strong for too long, man.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
sure.
That's for men of a certain age, man. Share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, B.
Ding! Turn that joint on.
Rock,
And
B.
as always, it's the same old soup. We just reheating it. Until next week, man. Peace. Don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe.
Word.
Go out there and vote.